seconds to spare.
Oh, I know who it is. Yeah, Tina Turner.
Is your cabinet having fun today?
Sorry.
Excuse me, can you just do something about the laughter?
Did you guys not have so much fun over there, please?
There's no laughing.
No having fun.
We're good. Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to this special meeting of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board of Trustees this Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. Call this meeting to order. And Cheryl, could we have roll call, please?
Trustee Ash. Trustee Criswell.
Here.
Trustee Gilstrap.
Here.
Trustee Hoskins Sutton.
Here.
Chair Isnard.
Here.
Vice Chair Ricketts.
Here.
Trustee Scruggs Andrieu.
Here.
Thank you. Now I'd call for a motion to enter executive session to discuss data relating to financial affairs or trade secrets of corporations, partnerships, trusts, and individual proprietorships with possible action to follow an open session for a 10-minute duration. Open session will take place in the Upper Jewel Lounge and in the virtual meeting room.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Members will be allowed time to travel to the special meeting room. Thank you. All right, do we have a motion to return to open session, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. As a result of the executive session, at this time, I'd call for a motion to approve the contract with Consolidated Management Company for food services as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That brings us to the end of the special meeting, and I would call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Right. Ready to go right into the other, Randy? Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board of Trustees to order this Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. I have 5 p.m. And Cheryl, could we have roll call, please? Sorry, I skipped a couple of things. Let me step back. Start with our mission statement, which is to inspire individuals and enrich our community one student at a time. And then we will have the Pledge of Allegiance this evening, led by Trustee Gilstrap.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now could we have roll call, Cheryl?
Trustee Ash. Trustee Criswell.
Here.
Trustee Gilstrap.
Here?
Trustee Hoskin Sutton.
Here.
Chair Isnard.
Here.
Vice Chair Ricketts.
Here.
Trustee Scribes Andrew.
Here.
Thank you. Now I call for a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, I would invite alumni Mr. Brian Boyd. The presentation by Miss Mary Spangler, Executive Director of our foundation.
Thank
Good
you,
evening.
thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a great pleasure to introduce one of our proud KCKCC alumni, Mr. Brian Boyd. Brian and I met about a year ago, and I knew immediately this was someone we wanted to engage and involve with our mission here at our college. And I invited him to come to a board coffee, and guess what? He is now a proud member of our foundation board of directors as one of our alumni leaders. Welcome, Brian Boyd.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Mary. See if I can get this adjusted here without messing something up. Mary, thank you for that introduction. Can you all hear me okay?
Sure.
I'm going to try to keep my head up. I'm a little tall here. So I just want to thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to stand in front of you here and tell a little bit about myself and my story. I think it'll resonate with all the work that I know you all are engaged in, and speak to a little bit of what Kansas City, Kansas Community College means to me, means to my family, and a lot of the people that I interact with. So without further ado, I'll just get right into it. I grew up right here in Kansas City, Kansas, and went through the public school systems. Like many of the young people that grew up in urban communities, I didn't know where I wanted to go, didn't know how to sort of figure out where life was going to take me, so to say, or even the options that were available to me. I didn't come from a family that had gone to college or, you know, had a lot of experience with how to navigate, you know, post high school and kind of how to navigate a career or finding a career for that matter. So there wasn't any roadmaps or any examples of what a career in engineering might look like. But KCK Community College changed that for me personally. As I graduated high school, I was trying to figure it all out. I visited the college. I think I visited with one of the counselors, and off I was, sort of this new avenue of discovery. And so Kansas City, Kansas Community College basically helped me figure out what I want to do. It gave me a chance to explore different paths, much more affordable paths to people from my community or the same upbringing that I had, and without pressure of debt. And so some of the things that I found out was, you know, drafting and how to enter into this engineering field from a non-traditional sense. And so that was pretty important to me. I found and met instructors like Charlie Greenfield, Wiley, a lot of the good instructors and professors that I think fostered a lot of careers over the years here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. So with that, you know, they pushed me to kind of keep going, kind of find out more, do more discovery, and take a chance on myself. And that paid off immensely for me personally. That belief in me made all the difference. So even before I finished my program here, I took a leap of faith, applied for an engineering role, and landed it. And this is without any degrees, just with a high school diploma. And you know, that first opportunity opened up a door in a career that I could have never imagined. One that would grow and evolve beyond anything or anything that anyone could have ever predicted for me. Today, I lead a team of civil engineers, designers at a very highly respected engineering firm. And I manage professionals who've graduated from some of the top universities across the country. Not because I have a four-year degree, but because I've developed technical expertise, leadership abilities, and some of the soft skills that help bring people around a common goal or a vision. And a lot of that I can attribute to what I learned here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. Along the way, I've mentored and trained many of those engineers. I've helped guide careers, just as someone once guided my career. And now I get to watch the ripple effect of that through my own family. This fall, my daughter will be attending Kansas State University for architecture. And again, this is something that, you know, what I learned here and the influences of what I've been able to do have, you know, sort of pushed down to even my kids and their friends and a lot of the people that I've had an opportunity to mentor and train. And so there's a clear example of, you know, sort of paying it forward and taking all the things that this place has taught me and sort of handing those skills and those opportunities on for other people to have some visibility on what it could be. And so I think with that, you know, knowing where she's starting her journey without the support and encouragement and a sense of purpose, that's what full circle sort of looks like for me. And the power of passing it forward. All of this success, my impact, my daughter's ambition started with the investment that Kansas City, Kansas Community College made in me. And it's more than a college, it's a launching pad. It's an investment in human capital that pays exponential returns. When students like me are given a chance and given exposure, the impact doesn't end with us. It reaches our families, it reaches our workplaces, our communities. It creates taxpayers, problem solvers, mentors, and builders of that next generation. Community colleges are very essential for our workforce. They help close the gaps. They meet employer needs. They change lives without saddling students with the burden of debt. And so what I want to message to you all and the takeaway from my story is we need to continue this. We need to continue to expose kids that grew up like me in the urban core that don't necessarily know that there's avenues for you to take hold of and to, you know, help evolve a career that can exceed a lot of the things that, you know, people sort of put on kids from the community. And I'm one of them, and that's what I want to share with you all today, that story of coming to this college, being exposed to the different careers that were afforded to me, and taking hold of those opportunities and seeing them blossom into what I'm doing today. And that's my message. So I just want to thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to tell that story, and I want to see Kansas City, Kansas Community College continue to do that for people like me that come from similar backgrounds. So thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
you.
Thank you for coming aboard.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for serving on the, no, don't leave. Don't leave. First of all, thank you for sharing your story, but you left something out, and Mary knows me quite well. What high school did you
So
go to?
yeah, I went to F.L. Schlegel, came out.
Okay, that's okay.
Yep.
Never mind, that's okay. No, okay.
Goes down.
Because they know I'm a bulldog. They know I'm a
Oh,
bulldog.
are you?
But
Okay.
yes, you know, it's still there.
It's all good.
But thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for serving on the foundation board. You will have a great time on that board. And Mary is my twin over there, and I had the privilege of serving with her for about 5-6 years.
All right.
So thank you. You have a lot of work ahead of you. You have
Yes,
no
yes.
idea.
Thank you. Love being a part of the board.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Boyd. All right, next on our agenda is the audience to patrons and petitioners. This time I'd invite the public to raise their hands in the chat or approach the podium for the opportunity to address the board. Addressees must state their name and address for the record before making their comment or question, and there is a 3-minute time limit. Do we have anyone in the chat?
There is no one in the chat.
Seeing none approaching the podium either, we will move on to the next item on our agenda is under recognitions and presentations. I would invite the KCKCC Foundation biannual report update presented by Ms. Mary Spangler, Executive Director of the Foundation.
Thank you, Chair Isnard, and thank you, Brian Boyd, for that great testimonial. I'll take 2 seconds. I want to thank Trustee Linda Hoskin-Sutton, Trustee Isnard, my other fellow board member, Amaryllis Valdez-Dempsey, and Mr. Boyd. The Foundation Board is well represented tonight, so thank you for your service. Thank you for this invitation to provide a biannual update to the Board of Trustees. Right off the top, Philanthropy in Action, you see a beautiful heart represented by, as a donation from one of our previous board members, Michael Bucati with Bucati Companies. I'm proud that that heart is out there, and what a perfect setting for that. In terms of philanthropy, as of June 16, 2025, our efforts so far have generated almost $3 million in revenue, gift revenue. This represents 2,146 gifts ranging from $5 to $1 million that have been processed and accounted for so far this fiscal year. $675,000 is for what we call our annual fund, which is scholarships and special program support. Another $2.3 million is in capital support received, with another $800,000 in pledges for capital support. I wanted to mention the Downtown Advisory Committee. We continue to meet monthly. We review fundraising progress and targets. Some of the momentum currently for those conversations at the monthly committee meetings includes thinking about the programs and services that will be offered at the future downtown center. Cash pledge and in-kind commitments, all in, partners, everything, is just over $67 million. And we're all looking forward to the topping out ceremony later this month. Another group that I want to mention and is portrayed in the bottom photo is our family fund. We have about 75 employee donors who contribute to the Family Fund, and last year, because of them, we were able to support 200 students last year, and we're on track to do something close to that again in the coming year. The other photos that are part of this presentation, just to give a couple of shout outs, the family of Marianne Flunder is represented. They, as many of you know, have established a permanent scholarship fund here at the foundation, and they are having their annual fish fry, mark your calendars, August 8th. Drop by for lunch or pick up dinner on the way home. They will be operating out of course, the Marianne Flunder Lodge by the lake, and that is coming up soon. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. And the other item I want to mention is, well, I'm going to move on because this is the real reason I want to step up and report. Amaryllis is an amazing board member, as all of you are, but she is our scholarship committee chair, and I want her to provide this piece of the update. Thank you, Amaryllis.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary. And thank you for having me. So first of all, one of the updates that I wanted to provide is on the Hall of Fame Awards Luncheon, which was held on April 25th at the Technical Education Center. And that luncheon generated $125,000. So that was a great accomplishment. The culinary arts and the music students were also on hand, and they shared their talents through the delicious food that they prepared, as well as the music and the entertainment and singing that they provided. We're proud to announce that the event was sold out, so we had every table was full. The class of 2025 inductees, the Unified Government Black History Scholarship Committee, Dr. Shelley Cooper and Dr. Janice McIntyre and Mr. Wiley Wright were inducted. We also increased the endowed scholarship giving with 3 new endowments. We have the Wiley Wright Fund, the Wilson's Gibbons Fund, and the Phillips Family Foundation. So the scholarship program, also funded by the alumni, individuals, business and industry, and foundations last year, provided over $565,000 to 797 students, with about half of those students enrolled in technical training programs. So 797 students were helped through the scholarships. That's amazing. The recent cycle for summer and fall 2025 semesters on track to serve another 300 students. So it's a great achievement. The foundation and the college also partnered with the Greater Kansas City Hispanic Collaborative on June 5th at Union Station, and this is an event that I was very heavily involved in. And what it is, it's a culinary arts program, and we showcase culinary arts. We also show entertainment as it relates to the diversity in Latin America, Spain, as well as Brazil. And so the culinary arts program here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College, whose picture you see here. So that was Chef V, as well as Chef John. They were on hand, as well as some of the students in the program were there showcasing, and they represented the country of Peru and I think Guatemala. And so they put together dishes that were specialties of those particular countries that they were representing. So it was a huge success. We had over 700 people attend the event, and they all loved the college. It showcased not just Kansas City, Kansas, but it's also showcased what the culinary students here are learning. And so there were some of the feedback that I received from some of the other chefs that maybe want to go back to school. They're looking at Kansas City, Kansas culinary program. So I was really excited about that. We also had a commercial that was filmed at the kitchen, at the Kansas City, Kansas kitchen by Telemundo, and the commercial played throughout prior to the event, and we have that available, and we'll be posting a link of that on the foundation social media. And the video or the commercial showcases Chef V and Chef John. So, any questions about what I just shared?
The food was great.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mary? No. Thank you, Amaryllis. I will just add there was real world learning happening through that type of collaborative effort, and I'm really happy that our college and our foundation embraced it 100%. And Chef V and her team, it was just an amazing experience. And the other thing I'll mention, Amaryllis, in addition to being a VP at Bank of America and the co-chair for the Greater Kansas City Hispanic Collaborative, she's been an amazing board member for us. And also, the Biz Fest will be on our campus in 2026. 2026. So Amaryllis is textbook, the what we want advocating for our mission. So thank you, Amaryllis, very, very much. I just end with gratitude. Just as an example, Dave and Patricia Hurlbrink, another amazing scholarship donor, have established a permanent endowment as well, and one of their scholarship recipients there in the photo. And just want to say thank you all for this opportunity. We'll continue to do good work and continue to make an impact. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of those efforts, your service on the board, and some great accomplishments we were very happy to hear tonight. So thanks again, everyone. Appreciate it. Look forward to continuing to work with the foundation. All right. Next, I'd invite the presentation of the Strategic Enrollment Management Annual Update presented by Dr. Cordy. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. It's my pleasure and honor to update the board on our Strategic Enrollment Management Plan. We've had an interesting year, to say the least. Which one do I push for this? Right now, as you can see, our target for full-time enrollment was 3,094. We got within 100 of that, 3,021, and I look forward to increasing that as our target increases for 2028. What we found this past year, we had an increase from applications for admissions, a little over 10%, from 5,092 to 5,616. However, admit to enroll percentage was down 5%. And so I think we need to seriously look at, and we've done some strategies to address that. Our retention from fall to fall increased by 1%, and our Pell eligible student retention rate increased by 2%. Now, this next group, we looked at the completion rate of our African American students, 8.9%. Now, the next two groups, Hispanic and white students, we did not have a target because they were not identified in the previous year. The reason, as I understand it, they chose to look at the completion rate of African American students is because of the Title III grant that we have. And so we don't have a target for the other groups that are listed there. But as you can see, from fall to fall, we had almost a 9% increase in the retention and completion rate of our African American students. Applications increased 23.9% from fall to fall. Spring to spring applications increased by 64%, and then fall 23 applications 10.9%. Now, one of the strategies we've implemented in November is what is called Archer Commit, and that is trying to move students from the stage from being accepted to KCKCC to actually enroll in the college. We have a number of other statistics here. Our fall 24, our student enrollment increased 3.1%, although our first-time full-time enrollment decreased 3.59%. But our total enrollment for fall of 24 increased 3.5%. Now, for spring semester, it got even better. First-time student enrollment increased almost 35%. First-time full-time enrollment increased over 102%. And the total enrollment for spring 2025 increased by 5.27%. Some interesting information that I wanted to show here as far as our students with our new student orientation. We had 1,134 students attended. Now, 51%, more than half of those students identified themselves as first-generation college students, which is consistent with our mission here at KCKCC. But also, too, 17% brought at least one parent or guardian to the session, which is, I think, a positive indicator of their commitment to their child. Now, student-athlete performance, if you notice, and some of the board members obviously seen this before, out of the top 5 GPAs, 4 of those teams are women teams. And so we have, obviously, the women's softball is our number 1 team as far as the GPA. Overall, all the teams had a 3.33, with the women's teams having a 3.48 and men's teams 3.22. What is also very stellar is 26 of our student athletes had a 4-point GPA, which I think is just outstanding. Here's some of our retention tracking here, and as you can see, we have been increasing our retention from fall 23 to fall 24. We're looking right now at a 26% increase for the upcoming semester coming forward. We're tracking that, but we've seen some positive increases in our retention tracking. These are the Pell-eligible students. And again, we've seen from fall 22 to 23, substantial increase in retention. Right now, we're not tracking as high as we'd like to be, but we've still got several months in order to go for that, for our Pell-eligible students. This is also our fall-to-fall first-time retention on our underrepresented students. And I asked what are underrepresented students, and those are basically, and I don't want to sound pragmatic, but basically students that are not white. Okay, and so you can see we've had from fall 22 to fall 23 an increase. Fall 24, we're tracking that to see where we are with that progression.
1 minute.
And then we've got our female students, and we've increased retention on our female students. We're tracking that also, and hopefully that'll be positive. This is also, Blue Connect is a program that we have purchased to engage our students. It's the first year. This is an example of what we did with the fall semester, and we're looking forward to increasing that engagement in that way. Here's some of the strategies that we're trying to move forward with. Web design, which Chris Green has been wonderful in working with us, pushing more for the fall 25 enrollment, expanding our early alert system, looking at a one-stop model for enrollment services, and also looking at what we need to do in the area of mental health. These are some of the other areas. AI has become an issue, and we've got some proposals that we hope to move forward with addressing some of the AI issues that might help us automate services to our students. And lastly, these are the top 10 programs at KCC for fall 24. Again, 18% or 15% are non-degree, liberal arts is second. You see that these are the top 10 programs that we've had at KCKCC. Is also some of the initiatives looking forward to what we have. Obviously, you can see with the online, we are running in the spring and fall about 35% of our classes are online, and looking at ways that those are developing. Multiple start programs for attracting students for different times during the term or semester. These are the people that have been instrumental in being part of this program to develop this. Thank you.
Questions or discussion?
Dr.
Excellent
Cordia.
presentation, Dr. Cordy. Just wanted to comment. Thank you so much for just really being focused upon and really just making sure that you're aware of the fact that we have got to continue our vigilance when it comes to technology. So I was very happy to hear your comments about looking to implement AI in ways that are helpful to the college, not only just for the sake of efficiency, but also for the sake of digital safety. So thank you for that. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Cray, I had a question, because I know in one of our previous board meetings, I believe it was you that had mentioned that what's going to be considered full-time could be shifting how many credit hours?
Well, one of I think what I had mentioned is there were some issues at a federal level in terms of Pell, in terms of the number full-time, but in the latest Senate version, they have rejected hiring number of credit hours for Pell, and that helps us because obviously we have many of our students are part-time and would be penalized for a higher level at the Pell level. So hopefully it'll stick.
Okay. Do we have a plan in place to let the students know as quickly as possible if that shifts?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, right now, the budget that is being considered in Congress, it will not affect Pell this current year.
Okay.
We've already issued Pell for our students that are coming in the fall.
Okay.
And so it'll be for
the
next year,
following
next fall.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Cordy, thank you for an excellent report. And I like the solid, forward-looking, in writing, this is what we hope to achieve. The full-time equivalency you're expecting to get by 2028. So I like that. It gives the whole department something to look forward to. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Looking at some of these KPI numbers, I found it interesting. I mean, you kind of highlighted a little bit the down 5% in the admitted to enrolled transition there. But when you look at in those two comparison years, I mean, spring to spring, 23 to 24, 64% increase in total applications. Mm-hmm. Fall to fall of that same year, over 10% increase. So I'm not surprised that we would see, when we're getting that many new applicants, that we may have some who decided they weren't quite ready. Maybe it's next semester for them, but I appreciate the focus on that number, though, because if we can retain as many of those or convert as many of those into students as possible, then
What we're also finding too is that, as soon as the applications come in, to immediately respond to make sure that we're not, waiting until a batch comes in, and that accepting the students as quickly as possible, so that we know that students are going to be looking at other competitions, looking at other schools to compete with. But if we can, as soon as they apply, immediately process their application and accept them, the chances are they'll be more likely to come to KCKCC.
absolutely. And then looking at another slide, so a question about online course offerings. So in some discussion with other board members, this one's come up before, and I'm just curious. So spring, it seemed like, of 2025, looks like 33.68% of our credit hours were online courses. Summer spiked quite a bit to 72.6%. Is that something we tend to see often for summer, that it's just because people maybe are trying to do it while traveling and doing summer things, or is that a spike that's unusual for us? That's on your slide titled SEM
Okay.
Planning and Looking
Yes,
Ahead.
I see that.
Okay.
I'm really not sure how I would answer that, because so much of it has to do with the sequence of the classes, what's being offered, comparing that summer to summer. And so I'm not really sure why we're seeing those numbers.
We can go back and look at last summer's percentage and do a comparison to that. It is a big jump, and typically in the summer. I'm not sure if it's always that high myself, so we can follow up with that. Look at the last summer or two.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. That was just an interesting jump I saw in the numbers there. And I think we're all kind of mindful, too, of when we look at that balance between in-person here on campus versus online. There's, again, that balance to strike between meeting the needs of the student for flexibility with online options, but then also are we making sure that we're offering in-person classes at the right schedules that work around people's work schedules and things that will help them when they have to balance real life with their future plans and education too. So thank you. Any other questions or discussion?
I'm on that. There was something that I know a couple of the universities has started shifting to for their online classes. Are we doing live online where the students are still able to interact with their professors, or is it what I call on-demand style? Are we doing a mix?
I would have to defer to the Vice President of Academic Affairs as far as the percentage. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what the percentage is for that, because there are different types of online, that you've brought up in terms of real-time, hybrid. So I'm not sure what that breakdown is.
Okay.
We refer to them as HighFlex here on campus. HighFlex, that's the new term that's being coined, I would say. It used to be synchronous or asynchronous option. So students have really three different options they can choose. They can choose in-seat, wholly online, or mixed mode.
Okay.
So we're looking to add more and more HighFlex, and we spent a lot of money from COVID building out more HighFlex capable rooms.
Okay.
Yep, that can both send and receive instruction.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Cordy.
All right, I think you're off the hook. Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda, we are ready for board committee reports. This time I'd invite the presentation of the Board Finance Committee report with Trustee Criswell.
Thank you, Chair Esnard. The Kansas City, Kansas Community College entire Board of Trustees met for the annual budget workshop. And then we also had a select members of the board who were actually on the Board Finance Committee that also met that same day. I'll start with the annual board budget workshop. The two key items, if you will, on the agenda were, of course, the draft of the FY 2025, 2026 budget revenues and expenses. And then also the property mill levy for FY 2025, 2026. And it's important to note that, each year we ask ourselves the question, do we need to start it earlier? Are we okay? And I think that there was probably a couple of years ago when we actually decided to start it a little bit earlier in the process. So by the time we get to fall, we know exactly what to expect and there's no huge surprises. So that particular workshop went very, very well. I think it was not only educational, but it was also a good time to have those discussions that we need to have ahead of fall. So just a very, very successful workshop. One other thing, and this is really more for the benefit of the public. I know that, each month beyond, say, June that goes by, more questions come up from our wonderful citizens about the budget and the mill levy and, are we going to be flat or revenue neutral or cut? One of the comments that I'd like to make is to invite any of our members of the public to take a look at, the last 5, 6, 7 years and who has remained flat or who has cut from a mill levy perspective and who, for whatever reason, what other entities what did they do? I'm not saying you should say the college versus the other entities taxing in this county. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying, look at what the college did, because it's quite remarkable. And I want to make sure that folks are very, very aware that everyone is obviously serious about the budget, but we too are serious, and we do our very, very best to make sure that we return as much or we take as little as possible in order to benefit the college, the students, and then also the community by taking less. So it's important to note that multiple years we have taken less intentionally, so that we can benefit folks for those reasons. So that's all I'll say about that, but take a look at that information. It's public information. I invite you anytime. Feel free to take a look at it, and that way you can make up your own mind about the history of the financial performance as well as financial behaviors and our commitment to this wonderful county. Next, I'll move on to the Board Finance Committee meeting. It was also on June 10th, and we of course spoke about the usual items. We went through the May financial summary and board reports. We also had a presentation of the pre-approved contracts list for FY 2026. Then there was also a food service proposal that was given, just as kind of a prelude to the board meeting, and that was approved to be presented at today's board meeting. So we've already had that discussion and already voted on that, but just wanted to note that we did have that discussion during the Finance Committee. And then finally, Dr. Mosier gave a wonderful downtown location update, which is always so exciting. I live about, 10-15 blocks or so from the downtown location, and I go out of my way to drive by there because it's so exciting, and you should see it. If you haven't seen pictures, in the last 3, 4, 5 days, you might have old pictures because it just keeps going. So just congratulations to everyone involved in making that happen, and I know it's going to be a huge success. Does anyone have any questions or any comments about the report? Okay, well, that concludes my report. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Trustee Criswell. And then I believe, Dr. Mosier, you have some additional. That's fine.
Get the mic to work. Thank you, Trustee Criswell. I went and had and put together like 7 slides or so, which kind of recap the workshop and the things that we spoke about on that day. If we could share my screen, Randy, and I'll just go through it quickly. Trustee Criswell covered it very well.
Yeah, those slides are great.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, thank you. So again, just a quick recap of where the college is in the process. And in our earlier meeting, I think May, we talked about looking at these 2 scenarios, the flat levy and the revenue neutral levy. Like we talk about the weather in Kansas, just give it a moment, it'll change. Well, that's the way this year's budget process is with all the federal regulations and executive orders and items that are taking place. And that's kind of the biggest variable that we have right now. As Trustee Criswell mentioned, our mill levy has stayed flat or gone down over the last 8 years. Just some background information. With us reducing our mill levy or not raising it, we're giving back, so to speak, or letting our taxing community keep their tax dollars. So about $16 million in the 2-year time frame, looking at these two variables of a flat mill and revenue neutral and cutting a mill. Really glad to say that we are still the lowest taxing entity in the district. Because we went revenue neutral this last year, we actually moved from 16 cents on the dollar, so every dollar in taxes, 16 cents in USD 500 district goes to the college, 15 cents in Piper and Turner. I believe because they didn't go revenue neutral this year. And then the other compounding factor was with inflation, and we're just kind of at a turning point right now where we're falling behind the inflation rate. This is what I was talking about. This is the biggest question item that we have out there. We know that state cuts are going to occur, so that's about $705,000. During the last month or so, we got confirmation that there will be no funding for adult basic education in 2027, either at the federal or the state level. So yellows are kind of a given, and SEOG funding. The other money is really up in the air, but we thought originally it was for 2026, but when we look at the legislation, even though they're working on this fiscal year's budget, the federal government, the educational impact is not until 2027. It's somewhat kicking the can down the road a little bit for us, but just something to consider, that we don't have to consider those cuts this year. Because of all those federal cuts, we thought tuition or enrollment would be down 7%. Without those cuts, we're anticipating a flat enrollment number, which means that $758,000 will go back into the budget that we thought we wouldn't collect, and now we think will be flat, so we will, we plan on collecting that. Then, so that money will go back into, this is kind of where we started, into these budget scenarios, which means from the college's proposed budget at a flat mill levy, it's about $2.18 million versus a 2.9 reduction from the request, and about $4.8 million versus the 5.5 million on the revenue neutral. So we'll continue to work on that, and of course that's pending the final mill calculation, which we just received notice today, but we haven't had a chance to plug it into the formulas and see what that adds up to be percentage-wise and such. So we'll keep working on this, and we'll come back to you in July with a more detailed budget, but at least now we know where to focus. Okay? We don't have a lot of those variables hanging over our head that we thought we had a month ago or 2 weeks ago. So with that, that just kind of concludes my recap.
Thank you. Appreciate that addition to the Finance Committee report then. Are there any questions or discussion from the board, or do we have a motion to accept the report?
Motion to accept the report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next would be the Board Policy Committee with Trustee Hoskins Sutton. And I see that you're not typically meeting during the summer, but did want to give you an opportunity if you had anything to share.
Thank you, Chair. No, I don't have anything to share because we, as I said, we won't meet again until September. Yes,
Okay.
when
Thank you.
the Senates are all back.
All right.
Thank you.
Move on then to the Board Community Engagement Committee. Vice Chair Ricketts.
Well, good evening, everyone. The Community Engagement Committee did not meet this month. We didn't have anything super pressing on the schedule. We are working on putting together a questionnaire for all of our community members that are on the committee to get their input on what they're hearing in the community so that they have an actual avenue to share, good and bad, to share everything that they're hearing. So we'll be working on that for our July meeting. And that is it.
All right, thank you. We have a motion to accept the report, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we would have the ACCT and KACC delegate report with Trustee Ash, but he is not able to be here this evening, so we will wait until our next meeting to hear an update on that. All right, next on our agenda is the consent agenda. I would invite any questions or comments. Otherwise, call for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, moving on into our staff reports. Now we have the President's report with Dr. Mosier.
Thank you, Chair. So this year is an election year for the Board of Trustees. So we had filing closed on June 2nd. And, we have a lot of people that are interested in Kansas City, Kansas Community College and what we are doing. So we have 7 applicants, in whole 7 applicants for 4 possible seats. So like we always do at the college for new candidates, we'll offer a new candidate orientation on July 17th or the 22nd. We'll go over what it means to be a trustee and what the requirements are. We're also planning for a college open forum September 17th, 3 o'clock to 4:30 in Upper Jewel. And we have it at 3 o'clock so the employees and the faculty and stuff can join if possible. A lot of the typical teaching schedule ends around 2:30, except for evening classes, so it's a good time. But we'll have more information come out on that. Commencement, Dr. Cordy will have more details, but commencement was fabulous. We'll work on some timing issues that we had, but it was great to see KCKCC's name and logo just all over the sporting complex. About 550 students walked. I think over 7,000, maybe more, people joined us as guests of our graduates. So just a really great event, and thank you to everyone who helped make that happen, because it takes a lot of work, but it's really nice to have everyone involved in one commencement. After last month's meeting, Trustee Ash mentioned that we should submit a proposal for the fall ACCT conference. So we went ahead and got that put together on Friday, and we have that submitted. So Dr. Baylog, myself, Ashley Irvin, and some people from business and industry, maybe some Panasonic reps, student, will go out and present if we're selected for that. In the budget presentation, I had a $2.9 million in AET, or congressional project funding, that it kind of went right over the top, but it actually was approved. Our 2025 request was approved by Senator Moran in 2026 for that AET equipment. We had a different proposal, but we really appreciate the senator's support for this, and we figured out a way to make that work with the staging in of equipment. The whole lab setup cost is about $5.3 million. So the college will purchase the first equipment, which is the introductory equipment that the students will be working on. So in fall 26, when we open downtown, we'll have that equipment in. And then we can start ordering the more advanced equipment, which was on the request. And then that will come in the fall, and we'll get that set up for the spring. So we'll kind of stagger it in and make sure that we don't lose out on that funding opportunity, because that's half of that big hit. We haven't talked about it too much, but we have been looking at and pursuing solar on campus, and the reason why is with the rebates that we are eligible for. We're eligible for a 30% rebate and possibly another 10% rebate on solar. But if we tie it together with the rebuilding of a roof or the resurfacing of a roof, that percentage rebate also goes to the roof replacement cost or the roof repair cost. So that really kind of magnifies the amount of money that we would get back and make our break-even time shorter. So wanted to mention that we are looking at that before possibly those rebates disappear. So taking a more quicker look at that. We have some great accomplishments. Our own Dr. Fabiola Riobe, will be recognized tomorrow night as one of the Black Achievers. So congratulations to her in those accomplishments. And Dr. Baylog, it was announced today, was accepted for the Aspen Fellowship for Aspiring Presidents. So he'll be participating in that over this next year. So great job for both of them. We have the Juneteenth celebration this Thursday, 11:30 to 2 p.m. in Lower Jewel, if you can make it. Saturday, we had the Vanguard Awards, the second annual Vanguard Awards, which was a great celebration of people going above and beyond. We had 5 current employees and some past and present FBOE students and community members here on campus for that, and it was terrific. And you have to give it to Roger Scruggs, who helps put on that event these last 2 years. It's just really a nice event. Things don't slow down in the summer anymore, so we're working on our institutional SWOT analysis, which will combine and put together for our board retreat coming up this end of the summer and fall. Working on the biannual updates for the strategic plan, working on the end of the year annual report, employee evaluations, and a variety of other items. So with that, in downtown, we have a topping off ceremony. I think last month I said beginning of September, but it's really beginning of August. So we'll have more information coming out. That means we'll have the building up that much faster. It will be a special invite, so definitely the board will all receive invites for that, because we have all 3 partners who will be participating in the event and on the construction site. So we're looking at how many individuals can attend. So with that, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, I have a note that due to a schedule conflict, we are actually going to bump Chris Green up in the schedule. So I would invite the report from the Vice President of Marketing and Institutional Image.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry.
Sorry, Scott.
Yeah.
I appreciate you changing the schedule for me. For those of you who may not know, this is my first night in class in my online doctorate. And so Dr. Mosier was kind enough to allow me to move up so that I can attend more of that class. Thank you to Dr. Baylog as well. And so I wanted to take this opportunity first to highlight our HVAC, heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and refrigeration program with a video.
Students should choose Kansas City, Kansas Community College because we've been in business for over 100 years. We've had very good success with our HVAC program.
What I enjoyed most about this program was meeting all the different people.
Everyone in here is friendly. Everybody helps each other out.
This is a technology center. We have construction over there, electrician over there, being able to meet everybody and then come together. HVAC is a jack of all trades, so we touch refrigeration, electrician, sheet metal.
Students come out of here with a minimum of knowing how to do installations.
The work we do in school is replicated what we do in real life. There's literally no difference.
They help you get to internships. The internship really helped me a lot. It helped me build up my confidence but I also got my EPA and my OSHA 10.
And then having the support as well. The teacher support here is very amazing. Like if I'm struggling, they're extremely helpful. So when I'm ready to go get a job, I'm able to tackle everything.
Makes you feel good when you see your students actually get jobs. It makes you feel like you're doing the right thing.
So we are at 22 of those wonderful videos. And as we're looking at the website redesign, we're looking at how to put video at the very top of our folds so that that video can be played quickly and give students information in a format they like. In addition, I want to echo Dr. Mosier's sentiments that our commencement exercises were fabulous. Not only were they fabulous in person, but they were fabulous in the way that we got reception and on social media. In the report, you might notice that this year we did video reels with our new multimedia designer, and we had over 12,000 views. And those were organic views. Those were not boosted, and we don't see that from our social media that we don't boost generally. So that was wonderful, and I want to call attention to that and thank Elizabeth and all of my photographers who went together and were out that night, Matt and Kelly as well, and Charlie, so that we got that footage and could put together those reels. We did one on celebration, we did one on fashion, and we did one on the pomp and circumstance of how wonderful it is to experience commencement. So 3 different reels. One of them that was featured tonight did receive 12,000 views all on its own. The other thing I'd like to take a moment to share with you tonight is our enrollment efforts, our enrollment marketing efforts. Each time we get close to an enrollment cycle, especially fall and spring, I like to share with you a summary of our enrollment marketing plan so you have an idea of where we are and what we're doing. Because honestly, on the digital side, if we're doing it right, you should not see a lot from us. Now, if you have teenagers at home, yes, you should absolutely. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that if you listen to Mix 93.3, which has by far the largest reach in the community, and 103.3, the Hot Jams, which has the largest reach in Wyandotte County, you will know that we are there for the radio, because radio, like Billboard, is a great in-the-moment reminder. Hey, yeah, I was going to do that when you're riding in the car. We also are in Telemundo on their TV advertising through the summer, and we were excited to be able to sponsor the Powering Change program on KSHB 41. That program also allows us to feature our AET program, and is a sponsorship that talks about all of the exciting changes coming to the greater metro area because of Panasonic's move into the area. So every Thursday when they do news stories on that, they play our commercial, and that has been a great boon as well. And then, of course, we have the digital advertising we always do. We also have postcard mailings, and we have the back to school fair that Dr. Darrett and Student Affairs does. I cannot thank Student Affairs and Enrollment Management enough for the active collaboration that they have and that we work together on through all of our different initiatives to really focus in on how we can target increases in conversions to enrollment, increases of applications, and all of those great things. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me go a little bit early tonight, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I'll make it quick, and congratulations on working on your doctorate.
Thank you.
It's always good, it just seems like a lot of times we're just in the same mode all the time, but when I saw those reels, I thought, oh wow, this is something different, and they're so cool for the college to do reels. Congratulations on that. That's pretty good.
Good job.
All right, thank you.
Move approval of report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now we're ready for the Executive Vice President's report with Dr. Balog. Good evening.
Thank you, Chair Isnard, members of the board, for the opportunity to share this month's update highlighting activities and achievements from across the college in 3 areas: institutional strategy, partnerships, and community engagement and operational execution. As it relates to institutional strategy, we're working closely with KC Rising and area workforce partners engaged in implementing the talent pipeline management framework and related initiatives here in the Metro. Our engagement is yielding opportunities and resources from partners that will better position the college to address emerging workforce demands in the region. An example is our collaboration with Enterprise KC, leveraging their talent platform and workforce intelligence database. As they are developing that, giving them real-time feedback, helping them to develop the tools that are supporting our needs and working with industry. Also related to our strategy, we're closing out the college's initial year of 40X implementation and preparing for the next annual cycle. We're grateful for the support of over 100 teams across the college who week after week made and kept commitments to help move the college toward achieving its completion, enrollment, and persistence goals. Related to partnerships and community engagement, one business partnership that I'm particularly excited about is with Canby's Markets. Mary Spangler and I recently met with their leadership, including their founder and CEO. They're based in the West Side in Kansas City, Missouri. They're entering Kansas and interested in working with KCKCC to address food insecurity and lack of access to healthy food and food deserts across Wyandotte County. This emerging partnership not only allows us to address area residents' needs, but to work with Canby's to support the growth of their workforce as they expand to Kansas and beyond. This collaboration will offer access to great volunteer, internship, and job opportunities for students across many disciplines and functional areas, including transportation and logistics. In education, you'll hear more over the coming months about our growing efforts collaborating with area school districts to more closely align our programming with their needs, especially in career and technical education. And it was another emotionally moving day as we celebrated the graduation of our Lansing Correctional Facility welding technology cohort. Nearly 24 graduates received their certificates, and we heard from a recent graduate of the program who, after reentering society, is now writing his ticket with a number of opportunities coming his way as a welder. He is in demand, and it's remarkable. It affirms the work that we do here. It really matters. Finally, related to operational execution, thanks go out to those across the college contributing to our grant-funded programs, especially initiatives like our Upward Bound Academy and Title III. A lot of conversation at the federal level around TRIO programs. Despite this, our teams continue to perform their work with dignity, serving our students and area K-12 students every single day. We're grateful for their contributions and the impact that they're making through these programs. That concludes my report. I welcome your questions.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion from the board?
Congratulations on being accepted into the Aspiring. I just need you to know that doesn't mean you're leaving.
No.
Right, okay.
No.
Have we had final word on our TRIO program being supported? I know you sent something, but we don't know.
Spoke with Merchant McIntyre today, our grant writing team in D.C., and they haven't heard word either, but we did talk about it. The TRIO programs that are getting funding pulled back are newer programs that maybe just were awarded. Maybe it's a program that's going into an extension, or when they looked at the outcomes of the proposal for that specific college's TRIO, it was heavily read DEI. So ours has been reviewed and it doesn't read that way. So we don't anticipate receiving that, getting that pulled back. You just never know, but I don't think so right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. As it relates to Aspen, Trustee Ricketts, it's an opportunity that I've deferred for many years, allowing other colleagues to participate, and mentioned to President Mosier that this was something that I really wanted. This was something that I was excited about, an opportunity to participate in the Rising President's Fellowship. Only 40 were selected nationally from among 120 applicants. 19 states are represented. I'm representing the state of Kansas, so I'm just really pleased. I'm honored. I'm grateful. And this aligns with the work that I set out to achieve when I arrived here, and that was to really help lift with President Mosier, our cabinet, with all of you on the board, to help grow the national profile of Kansas City, Kansas Community College. So you may be familiar with the Aspen Prize that is awarded to the top community college in the country every other year. That is a program that is sponsored, facilitated, supported by the Aspen Institute. Aligning with organizations like this through the Rising Presidents Fellowship, we just signed a data agreement with Aspen and with National Student Clearinghouse. These are the right steps that we are taking to align with Aspen and really, again, to grow our national profile as an institution. So looking forward to it, and I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he's not allowed to leave, so that part too.
I didn't know if we were recording that.
Okay.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right. If no other questions, we have a motion to accept the report, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Baylog.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Vice President of Academic Affairs report with Mr. Pope. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'll just call your attention to a few things in the report. Dean Cecilia Brewer acted, I thought this was really interesting, as an external reviewer for a degree program in Arkansas. So she's been telling me that after our participation in the Assessment Academy and some presentations we were able to do, we've been getting more and more calls. So I think that's really exciting that we went from an institution that was not getting calls regarding assessment and program review to one that is. So congratulations to all the work that's gone on at this institution regarding that. Tom Grady has, I don't know how many he did this past year, but as the faculty director of the Center for that's old school, for the Institute for Teaching and Learning. It'll take me a little while to say the right term. It used to be the Center for Teaching Excellence. Is doing a lot of work on AI, with AI, and describing AI, and working with the faculty about how it can be used in the classroom. And also, we know that students are going to be required to use this in their job. I was over at Johnson County for an event yesterday and today and tomorrow, and one of the things was on AI, and everybody in the room raised their hands as using it. And the majority of people, these were data people, use it on a daily basis. So as we're beginning to navigate that, and kudos to Tom and the others, the faculty and staff that are participating in that. Speaking of assessment, this is that assessment time of year. As of May 27th, 92% of our programs had turned in their forms. We've since found out that the ones that didn't, there were just some technical glitches, so we expect really close to 100%. As an interim dean, I got to review 17 programs over this past week, so there's some really good work that's going on in assessment, and that's specifically at the program level. Our art department, our art gallery, so the gallery coordinator, Shy Perry, I thought it was really interesting that they collaborated with the Wyandotte Behavioral Health Network for their Start the Conversation art exhibit. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get there to see it, but I know that was a great exhibit and they had a good time there. Construction technology students were able to go downtown to look at our new facility. They were able to look at blueprints and kind of connect those blueprints to what was happening. So I know that was really exciting for them to do that. It's really nice. We have that big project going on. The evening HVAC, so that's one of our evening programs. We're working to try to expand our evening offerings in the Division of Career and Technical Education Center. But you can see they went to Johnstone Supply and they were able to talk to some managers about some expectations, so really some good opportunities for our students. Our culinary arts at this time, one of the things they do is their capstone project, and they have to do a cafe idea. So that includes, creating the menus, but also kind of looking at the business side of this. So I think that's a very interesting thing that they do. Early childhood education director, that's certainly a need within our community and nationwide. So she was visiting with some other community colleges about best practices. We're always We hope to be on the cutting edge, so one of the things that Dr. Bone is doing with her faculty is looking at using virtual reality. We have some trouble finding clinical faculty and some other faculty in nursing, so we got this opportunity. We got a really good deal on some virtual reality. It's not all signed and done yet, but we're looking for that, and it will allow us an opportunity for these students when we're having trouble finding the faculty. So kudos to her and her faculty for the work that they're doing for that. And then one other thing Dr. Bone is doing, she is doing a leadership. She got her second PhD, or her second doctorate. It's an EDD, so one wasn't enough for her. If you remember Shirley Wendell, she also had 2. So she's doing a leadership program among her directors in her division. So I'm really excited about the potential of maybe expanding that. And by the way, that's what her dissertation was on. It was about leadership at the dean level. So with that, I'll end and take any questions that you may have.
It's the K-12 initiative. It's the 5-week health science academy between the campus and KU. So my question is, are these students from, what grade are they? And is it part of the Science Academy that's already here on Saturdays during the fall?
I don't know, but I will, Dr. Creamer.
I thought I saw him over there, and I knew, I saw him come in. I knew it's under his report, so I figured he could probably answer it.
That K-12 initiative? Oh, it's part of the Saturday Academy?
It is the Saturday Academy.
Okay.
And it comes up through 12th grade, 9th through 12th grade.
9th through 12th, okay.
Cool.
So do they have to apply, or do they take all of the Saturday Academy, or is it just optional if they participate?
They apply each year to be a part of it, and they come out here on the campus one Fridays of each month, and then they are from ninth graders to rising seniors in terms of the participants. Okay. And so the other 4 days they're at KU Med working there at their campus.
All right, thank you.
Does that answer what you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome, because that's dramatically changed throughout the years. My daughter is older, I won't say because she may listen, but Saturday Academy is literally just Saturday. So that's awesome to see how it's expanded throughout the years.
Yeah,
good job.
All right, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management report with Dr. Cordy. Good evening again.
I'm back. Okay, just a couple highlights. The field house floor is completed, and if you haven't seen it, please, take a look over there. It's just beautiful, beautiful facility, and so we're really pleased with that. We had also talked about commencement, wonderful commencement. Officially, 659 students graduated in May. And I want to publicly thank our registrar, Teresa Holliday, for the wonderful job she and her crew did on the commencement. And we couldn't have had better weather and better speaker, and the whole program is just wonderful. I mentioned our field house and athletics. Athletic director told me this morning that so far we have 126 new students have signed letters of intent for next year, which is a great number. Hopefully we'll have a number of those students. One of the challenges we have right now with some of our recruits, student athletes, as well as other international students, is trying to work our way through the issues with the State Department and the pause on student visas. We've had a number of students that we have extended I-20s to, but have had their appointments canceled, and so hopefully we'll be able to work our way through that. Our enrollment for fall, in some areas it's lagging, but we're looking at different areas and looking to see what we can do to address some of the areas that we see the enrollment lagging for fall semester. A couple other things, though, indicators. We've had a huge increase in the number of FAFSAs that we've had. We've gone from, excuse me, so far in May, 939 FAFSAs compared to this time last year, 510. We've also seen a serious increase in our traffic in our Success Center. Placement testing, we've had a almost 30% increase from May 25 versus May 24, which is, I think, a great indicator. So we've got a lot of things that are going on that I think are very encouraging as far as our fall enrollment for fall 25. But also, too, I think that we've got some wonderful marketing strategies. I think Chris Green, well, she's not here anymore, but Chris Green did a wonderful job with marketing the campus and her folks. And so it's just been a really great collaborative effort in terms of our recruiting students as well as retaining our students. So that's all I've got for my report.
I just thought of this. I know the applications that you get there are really up, and then you just mentioned the placement test, and sometimes that gets students nervous when they really shouldn't be nervous. After they complete the application, does anyone contact them and I'm not trying to tell anyone how to do their job, I'm just asking questions, to possibly go on and take the placement test, because sometimes that could be a hinder. They think, oh, I got to go take a test so that before they actually enroll.
Yes. Well, what we try and do is our Success Center has a great group of advisors that work with the students once they have applied, and the placement test can be intimidating for some of the students, and so we try and work through that with the students. In some ways, with the students, any kind of testing sends up all kinds of red flags, and they're really hesitant to do that. But we explain to the student that the testing is for their good, so that they're not placed in classes where they would be over their head to start out with. It's just a baseline. We explain to the students that we're not trying to prejudge you, but we need to make sure that you're in the right classes based on how you performed on those tests.
Okay. Thank you.
That's that relief of knowing it's not the ACT.
They can take out ACT or the SAT. Yeah.
All right. Hearing no other questions, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Cordy.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Vice President of Finance and Operations report with Dr. Schulte. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to highlight the great work that's being done by the leadership that reports up to my office. In addition to the information provided by President Mosier in partnership with President and others, I'm putting together the FY26 budget. We've also worked through preparation for the FY26 budget that continued with the presentation of the budget workshop and held in hybrid format on June 10th. In addition to that, we're looking at, and we received the evaluations from the unified government, and we'll be able to put that into play and be able to present to all of you in July what that looks like in relation to our budget as we roll forward. With a focus on student success, I'm proud of the team that led an effort for the RFP for food service that was presented to all of you tonight. I do think that's a huge step forward for the institution. While food service was here in the past, it's a great step in relation to what we can provide for our students in making sure that they have healthy food options and affordable food options on our campus. So again, thank you all for the consideration and your approval of that. I'll continue to monitor that and report on it as we go forward, and look forward to that being implemented in the fall. With a focus on employee engagement, Human Resources Department has launched a 2025 staff performance review period, which includes supervisory training, staff self-evaluation, performance assessment, and future goal setting. So again, comprehensively taking a look at and educating individuals on what is the performance review process here on campus and how do we make sure that we're utilizing it in a way that the value is passed down to the employees as well. It's not just a thing we fill out, but something where we set goals, we look together collectively to find a way to help you grow on your path here at KCKCC. In the area of information services, we continue to work towards the Ellucian migration of SAS, the team in preparation for the upcoming move to SAS service in the cloud again. And in addition to that, we were able to pull together a search committee that reviewed a number of applications for the Chief Information Officer. The committee came together and collectively pulled and assessed, I would say probably 30 to 35 applications that made it to the final, review from Human Resources, of which we narrowed that down quickly to being 10 that we are conducting online interviews. We did 2 today. We'll continue to do those through the end of next week. From there, we'll assess and look at potentially bringing 5 individuals to campus. We have a very strong pool, and I'm excited about being able to present to you, hopefully in the future, who our new CIO is, Chief Information Officer on campus. In the area of facility services, as Dr. Cordy noted, the Fieldhouse floor is completed. That is exceptional news. And you might also note that summertime is a time when projects happen on campus. We had a water line leak heading into the Fieldhouse. We had to spend some time, shut some things down to be able to mitigate that and put in place and really take a look at the deferred maintenance in a way where we weren't just patching it, but we are actually creating a solution longer term in relation to mitigating this going forward. In addition to that, as you go around, you'll see parking lot resurfacing. I'm very proud of the facilities team on what they're doing on campus. You can see their work in action, which is wonderful. College Police Officer Matt Griffin was promoted to sergeant on May 23rd. And in addition to, when focused on community policing, College Police Department has utilized bicycles throughout the month of May to patrol main campus in support of visibility and community engagement. Again, that's a key piece of hiring Chief Casey Wiltz into her role, is taking a look at how is community policing a part of who we are, and really kind of changing the game in relation to what we're doing from that standpoint. And finally, in the area of the Wellness Center, and I noted last month, but the 20th annual Blue Devil 5K was held on May 3rd. We had a special appearance by Blue, the Blue Devil, who helped inspire 81 participants to cross the finish line, which is an exceptional number to have 81 individuals coming out here, learning a little bit about us, running around our campus and having a great time. And thank you to those of you that attended and ran as well. And a final note, with 40X, as Dr. Baylog noted, one of the pieces that I felt like highlighting was in the Wellness Center. Director Rob Crane had noted how many individuals attend the Wellness Center and set out goals, and was tracking that in relation to his goal. And when he put out his number, I thought there's absolutely no way, and he's exceeded that number. And the total number of student visits to over 10,000 student visits since January. Those are not unique individuals, but individuals going collectively, multiple times. But to think about how often people are walking into our wellness center, it's more than 10,000 times between January and now. So keeping that in mind and saying, what kind of resources do we have on campus, and how do we make sure we continue to foster and let them grow? With that concludes my report, and I'll entertain any questions.
All right, hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have the Vice President of Educational Innovation and Global Programming report with Dr. Ryobi. Good evening.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to report on educational innovation and global programming. As you know, that division includes adult and continuing education, high school partnerships, international scholar services, online education, and workforce innovation. I'm going to be focusing the report on the 4 strategic priorities as outlined by the college's strategic plan. Looking at student success, congratulations to our adult and continuing education program. Thanks by the leadership of Dr. Richard Wallace and Stephanie Pritchard, we had 55 adult and continuing educations complete all 4 of GED test, with an impressive 89.9 pass rate. Thank you to some of the board members in the college for the support and for being in attendance. You could clap for that. I like that. I also want to acknowledge the work of the International Student Services Department for successfully helping to transition 7 of our international graduates to 4-year institutions. Great job, everyone. Looking at quality programs and services, thank you to the marketing team and also to Andrea, Assistant Director in our Adult and Continuing Education Department, who have successfully rebranded and expanded the Kids on Campus Summer Initiative, broadening access to youth enrichment. I also want to give a great shout out for the team for continuing to deliver driver's education and motorcycle safety and reinforcing our community commitment to safe transportation. Kudos to the online education services team by enhancing and improving our Blackboard features to incorporate more features around AI, more opportunities for student engagement, and increasing programming around digital learning. Thank you for that. Looking at employee engagement, the Educational Innovation and Global Programming staff has participated in not only in the 4DX 4 disciplines of execution that the college initiative was under, but we have retired 2 of our WIGs, so we're excited about that, focusing on aligning the division's priorities with institutional strategy. Not to mention, our professional development has been really enhanced thanks by the work of HR through the Growth and Learning Opportunity Workshops, GLOW, where our team members have actively participated and led in some of those initiatives. So thank you for that opportunity. For community engagement, you heard President Mosier mention, and I would like to extend the invitation and encourage all of you to register to our 3rd annual Juneteenth celebration that's taking place this Thursday on June 19th. A very special thank you to our co-chairs of the committee this year, Dr. Reem Rashid and Mr. Jeremiah McClooney. Thank you very much. That is my report.
Congratulations on your award with Black Achievers, is it Black Archives? Black Achievers. And then I have a question, I think maybe on one of the slides with Dr. Mosier or something with the funding, ABE funding, Adult Basic Education funding will be affected, and is it 2026? 2027. Are we preparing for that? Because that's our GED, right?
I'm sure under the leadership and guidance of the president, we will come up with a very strong strategy to address that.
All right.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yes, congrats again.
And I have to say, I get all excited when I see the Kids on Campus signs.
Yes.
Go out.
The mini Blue Devil.
It looks, you know it's summertime when the signs are out. Congratulations.
All right, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Thank you.
opposed? Motion carries. Thank you again. All right, next on our agenda, we are moving into unfinished business. Looks like we have a presentation for the resolution of the non-renewal of contract employment presented by Dr. Mosier.
Yes, thank you, Chair Isnard. There's one final step that we have to do in the non-renewal process. What we did last month was the resolution of the intent to non-renew, and then we need to allow faculty to have time if they're going to request a hearing, 15 days for that. So that process has been completed, and we have Ms. Deborah Likens, who has not submitted a request for a hearing. So we can go ahead and move forward with the final action for that for non-renewal. So the resolution is, whereas on the 6th day of May 2025, the Board of Trustees of Kansas City, Kansas Community College by resolution duly adopted, took action to notify Deborah Likens of the board's intent to non-renew her 2024-2025 contract for the 2025-26 academic year. And whereas the Board of Trustees gave written notice to Deborah Likens on or about the 7th day of May 2025 that it was the intent of the Board of Trustees to not renew her 2024-25 contract to 2026, And whereas after extensive consideration and thorough discussion, the board has determined that the matter should be resolved as follows. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Kansas City, Kansas Community College, the contract of Deborah Likens not be renewed for the 2026 academic year. Deb Likens has been given personally or by restricted mail a signed copy of this resolution. The Board of Trustees of Kansas City, Kansas Community College on the 17th day of June, 2025.
This time I call for a motion to approve the resolution for non-renewal of contract of employment as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed. I think because I opposed the other part of it, I need to still oppose it here.
Okay, we've got
And
one
then-
opposition.
And then I had asked our attorney, because I wasn't sure and why we didn't have the others. I'm thinking the one was because she was still on probation.
One was probationary.
And then Hall, did she request
Yes.
a hearing? Okay, all right.
So we still have a process there. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, next going into new business, I'd invite the presentation of the pre-approved contracts list for fiscal year 2026 presented by Dr. Schulte.
Thank you, Chair Isnard. You'll see in your packet on page 118, and I will just read through the attached list of recommended FY26 contracts for pre-approved by the Finance Committee. These contracts include textbooks that are purchased and resold through KCKCC bookstore, insurance providers, utility providers, software vendors, and facility service providers. There are also several ongoing agreements with consultants such as legal services and federal grant assistance. The vendors for information services and facilities were established by competitive bid and are in multi-year agreement, are a sole source provider for proprietary work, or are contracted under a national cooperative purchasing agreement. These purchases comply with the college's purchasing policy. The dollar amount in most cases is an actual cost, although in some cases it's an estimate, and actual amounts will be based on use and invoicing. Actual payments will be shown on the monthly billing listing as invoices are paid. So with that, we respectfully request the recommended approval to the Board of Trustees to use these contracts in FY26.
Thank you, Dr. Schulte. With these being thoroughly reviewed already by our Finance Committee, at this time I call for a motion to approve the pre-approved contracts list for fiscal year 2026 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, I invite the presentation of the extension of the registry agreement for Dr. Tom Cordy, Interim Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, presented by Dr. Mosier.
Great, thank you. As you all know, in the first interview cycle for the permanent Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Affairs, we did not select a final candidate. We are in the process of reviewing the second batch. We do have 4 individuals and 2 alternates who we selected for on-campus interviews coming up. As you know, that takes a little bit of time. The contract with the registry for Dr. Cordy technically expires on the end of June 30th. So we have been talking with the registry to just do an extension of the exact same terms of the contract for Dr. Cordy for July and August. So it would be an extension to the end of August to allow us to go through the interview process, select a final permanent candidate for the VP position, and then possibly have some overlap as well.
Questions or discussion?
So the overlap would allow him to be here and help with training the new person. I would hope we could have him for that.
Yeah.
Yes, dependent upon the when the new person could start, it would be a determining factor, but yes, that's the idea.
All All right, hearing no other questions, I call for a motion to approve the extension of the registry agreement for Dr. Cordy, Interim Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I'll just add, we appreciate the work that Dr. Cordy is doing and his willingness to stay on an extra 2 months with us.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, now I would invite the presentation of the alcohol resolution for the academic year 2026 celebration of Mass for the Catholic students of Kansas City, Kansas Community College on multiple dates, presented by Dr. Mosher.
All right, thank you very much. And we'll try and do this without getting tongue-tied, so that'll be good.
It's been tough for me tonight.
It has, yeah. So this is alcohol resolution we renew each year for our I'm sorry, there we go again. The Catholic Students Club of KCKCC. So there are different events, one held each month, and we're looking for a resolution to serve alcohol at those specific events. The resolution reads, whereas Kansas statute annotated 41719D prohibits the consumption of alcoholic liquor on public property except where expressly permitted by law, and whereas the college is authorized under Kansas law to exempt from that provision, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of KCKCC, KCKCC hereby exempts for the following dates: in fall 25 and spring of 26 from 12 noon to 12:30 p.m. The dates are August 27, September 17, October 15, November 8, November 19, December 8, January 28, February 28, March 11, April 15, and May 6 in the upper level Jewel Lounge from this requirement. This exemption is granted in connection with the holding of the celebration of Mass for the Catholic students of Kansas City, Kansas Community College, passed and approved by the Board of Trustees in a meeting held on Tuesday, June 17, 2025.
I just have a clarifying question. This is really only for 30 minutes? Is that?
The Mass, do you want to?
I mean, that's a short service.
It is. So Catholic Student Union celebrates Mass, and so it is a consolidated Mass, but it is celebrated here. Calendar typically revolves around feast days with the church. There had been regular monthly scheduled Mass celebrations, but it's more organized around feast days now.
Okay.
It is consolidated. We typically will have priests from across the diocese come in. They will celebrate the Mass, and so typically there is wine.
Okay.
That is part of that.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't, that wasn't a misprint for just 30 minutes.
Right, I believe it's during the lunch hour.
It's during the lunch hour,
students
yeah, and so it's really
employees,
to help students, employees that are interested in celebrating to take part.
So is this like where in Mass you're celebrating the blood of Jesus?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, and to clarify, although the wording of our resolution has to say consumption of alcoholic liquor, we're talking about wine for this short event on those days. Yeah,
correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If I understand correctly, the priests do the consumption of the wine, and the students do not.
Right. As long as I have been working here and I'm a celebrating Catholic, I have not consumed any wine, nor has it been offered. So it is the priest that is celebrating the Mass, presiding over that Mass, that consumes the wine as part of their role, their duty.
All right, thank you. If there are no other questions, I call for a motion to approve the alcohol resolution for the academic year 2026 celebration of Mass for the Catholic students of Kansas City, Kansas Community College as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That brings us to the end of our agenda this evening. At this time, I'd call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.